Okay, so how many of you play sports? A lot of you, right? And how many of you need balance to play your sports? Should be all of you. Balance is a main key point in sports, and a lot of the times, I find myself tripping over nothing walking on the sidewalk. Today, I'm going to teach you how to set up, use, and tear down a slack line, which is a great version of training your balance. So slack line is actually, basically if you've ever seen it, it's a rope tied to two trees that people walk on. It looks a little crazy and it looks a little difficult, but it's actually pretty easy once you get started. Dan Dinu made his article, Slacklining and How to Improve Your Balance for Parkour, is on parkourtrain.net, says that slacklining is a great way to put those finishing touches on one of your most important senses you will need, your balance. And a few minutes of balancing on a slackline is equivalent to a few dozen minutes for normal balancing. So today I'm going to show you some of the parts you need. Okay, so this right here is a crank. It tightens up your slackline. And this is the line to the crank. And then you have your normal line. It extends about 50 feet long. And then you have little tree protectors. These are optional if you don't want to tear up your trees. So first thing you want to do is you want to put this around your trees so they don't get hurt. Next, you want to take your crank line and you want to wrap around one of your trees. You want to make sure that the side with whatever logo is on there is facing outwards. You want to bring the crank through the loop. And when you bring the crank through the loop, you actually want to pinch the line and fold it in half so it stays flat when you walk on it. You want to make sure it's tight. Then you get your line you walk on and wrap that around the other tree. When you wrap around the other tree, you want to make sure the same thing. That the logo is on the outside. You want to put it through the loop. And then you want to pinch it, make sure it folds so it stays flat when you walk on it. And you want to pinch it towards the outside so it's not buckling in. When you pull your slack line, you want to make sure it's all even and lined up. And then you want to unravel it all the way. It's a little long. And then you want to grab your crank, and there will be a slot at the end of it that you want to put your line through. You want to put it through one end, and then you fold it, take it out underneath of it. And when you want to pull all the line so it's nice and tight. There we go. Then when you pull it tight, you want to pull the lever that releases it so it's not locked, and then you want to start cranking it to make it tight. So you crank it, you push it back. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, I don't want to squeeze them. But then when you're done cranking it to as tight as you want, you have to pull the release lever again, put it all the way in, and it locks it. And then you're ready to walk. So then, there's many different ways that people like to walk on slackline. Some people like shoes, some people don't like shoes. The most effective way of walking on a slackline is you want to make sure that your feet are straight and parallel with the line. You don't want to go off because then you can end up tripping over yourself and falling one way or another and landing on your head, which would kind of hurt. And there's many different levels of slackline. People would just go from walking across it to bouncing on their stomach and their back and doing flips and landing back on it. And a bunch of junk that gets very tough and hard to do. And then when you want to tear down your slackline, you take the end of it, you release the lever, put it all the way, and then until you get to the end, then you want to hold the lever down, and you want to snap it back so that it releases all the tension and you can pull it out. Then you want to close it shut. Take it off your trees. And then you want to fold it up and you put it back in a bag if you get a bag with it, or just carry it like it is. So slacklining is just an easy, fun way to improve your balance, and it's something that I really enjoy, and it definitely works a lot better than just like trying to walk on a pole or something, because the tension makes you wobble back and forth, and it just improves your balance a lot more. And when you walk on it, you don't use your legs, you use your arms to balance yourself, and you use your hip. Because if you use your legs, you're just going to fall off. But it's a lot of fun, and I hope you learned a good way to improve your balance today. Thank you.